So he went under lie detector tests. There was witnesses. There was sound recorded. There was pictures. And one of my favorite things is that he even gave them metal samples. Now, these metal samples were not just ordinary metal. That's the coolest thing. Like, this farmer somehow was able to find thulium. I'll put the like the name or something, okay? Like thulium. Okay? But very, very rare earth metal, which is produced in like nuclear reactions. Like, it's not a very common metal, and it's really, really expensive. It's more expensive than gold. So how did he get his hands on this? And this was in like the late 70s. This wasn't like nowadays, yeah, like with the internet and whatnot. You could actually buy thulium, although it would be really, really expensive. Like, it's a lot more expensive than gold. So it was basically like he gave them a chunk of gold to have it analyzed. And not only that, but in this sample, the person that analyzed it determined that there was also a fine crystalline structure within the metal itself, which he had never in his career ever seen before. And I'll put a clip of that too.
Next, Stevens takes the metal fragments to be examined under the electronic spectrometer to determine their components. Later analysis of other fragments also reveals small amounts of thulium, a rare earth element that is difficult and costly to extract here. Because of the unusual nature of the findings, the fragments are given to chemist Marcel Vogel, an expert in crystalline structures and inventor of many substances used in computer components.
What is unusual of this small specimen is both highly crystalline nature, and suddenly we come to a metal section as we see here, and it showed a combination of metals that I've not encountered in any normal bit of metallurgy, both crystalline deposits and metal. Now, we, with any technology that I know of, could not achieve this on this Earth plane. I could not explain the type of material that I have and its discreteness by any known combination of materials. I could not put it together myself as a scientist. It's also a challenge because I showed it to one of my friends who was a metallurgist, and he shook his head. He said, "I don't see how it can be put together." And we find that in this area there is evidence of machining, that there are striations which look like the sample has been worked mechanically. It doesn't look like anything that we've made here. At this moment, I would feel very much inclined to accept what was given to me as being true.
But now for my uber most favorited thing. The messages. He wasn't just told to, like take our picture and like show the people our sound, what our ships sound like, what like describe what we look like to them. Ultimately, it was about the messages that they carried with them, and they wanted him to impart to humanity. That's ultimately what this is about. And the messages, if you actually read them, are pretty in depth. They're thinkers. And that's what I like most about it, is that not only does he have this huge mountain of supporting evidence, but his messages don't seem that far-fetched. They seem very, like they ring true in your consciousness if you actually take the time to read some of them. Now, again, I just want to say thank you to Billy Meier, because he had to go under a lot of scrutiny for this. He was called crazy, a crackpot, liar, basically. He was told he was a liar. He was shot at. Like, he's had his life threatened like over 20 times. He lives in a remote area of Switzerland, and which I won't even say because I don't. If you really wanted to find out, you could find out. But people have shot at him, and that just, I don't know, it just dumbfounds me that someone, like, you're gonna shoot at someone who has so much to give. But yeah, so as you can see from those video clips, I wasn't just making this all up. can look up a lot on Billy Meier. The truth is out there, and it's at your fingertips. You have access to it at any time you want. But the truth and the key to all of this is your free will. You have to want to know the truth. You can't just put your head in the sand. Because, yeah, if you want to put your head in the sand, then a lot of people are going to be there who are going to mold you. They're going to say, oh, yeah. Like, come to us. We know. And I'm not telling you, I'm not trying to do that like it's a cult. I'm actually just trying to tell you to read the messages and see for yourself. And if you are very, very highly religious, maybe you can incorporate some of these teachings into your religion. Maybe you can't. But that ultimately will be up to yourself. So, peace. I'll also put some of the messages that I thought were really, that rang true. And let me know what you think below. Okay. And yeah, I already said peace out, so bye.
For a long time, we've had an urge to contact someone who sincerely wants to be helpful in our mission. Here and there, we open such contacts with inhabitants of different worlds, but only when they have developed enough to become rational, thinking beings. Then we prepare them for the thought that they are not the only rational, thinking beings in the universe. You have whole organizations which investigate our beamships, but they have little material which is really authentic. However, the authorities already know much about our existence, but they continue to deny the fact of our existence, or even the fact of their research. They want only to rule the cosmos, but they are not even able to create on Earth peace among themselves.
One night,
Very well known, in fact, they're a very ancient group. They're mentioned, in fact, in the Bible, in the book of Job. I can't just give you chapter and verse, but they are a very old group, and they've been used by many ancient civilizations to signify the approach of autumn, winter.
Hippocrates recorded that summer begins with their rising and winter with their setting, and Greek temples are aligned to these events. The Great Pyramids of Egypt are also aligned to the Pleiades. To some African nations, they are known as the Seven Goddesses. In China, they are called the Seven Maidens, and they are the seven beneficent spirits of the Hindu Vedas. Curiously, in all these separate cultures, they are always referred to in the female. The Pleiadians told Meier they used females for their first contacts because they appeared less aggressive to early man. The Mayans celebrated the moment when the Pleiades reached their zenith as the most important event in their calendar. Pre-Incan peoples believed their gods came down from the Pleiades, and on the mysterious plains of Nazca, Peru, the Thunderbird marks the plaza of the Pleiades.
Why are they here now, and what do they want?
You see, they don't come here to harm us. They don't come to start trouble here or war or to overtake the earth in their ruling. They just see us here as their little brothers or something like that. And they want to bring the real teaching of the natural life and of the spiritual belonging, spiritual teaching, spiritual life, and all this.
But they must want something from us.
They just want nothing.
Nothing.
You see, for the human on earth, it's impossible to believe this, but that's really the truth. They just want nothing from the humans on earth.